We took him to the center, Raurkela Meditation Center. At that time, Raurkela was not a full-fledged ashram. It was a meditation center only. We took him there. In the evening, again we assembled, and at that time, quite a few persons who did not belong to Raurkela, having heard that Gurudev had arrived there, they came from nearby places like Sambalpur, Jharsuguda, etc. So Baba sat on a sofa set in the front, and on the floor there is a carpet. We all sat facing him on the carpet. He gave a short discourse, guided meditation. He himself was guiding meditation. Till he was very old, he himself was guiding meditation. So guided meditation. After guiding meditation, the meditation was over. Still, people were not ready to go home. They were just sitting there, looking at him. Then he asked, "Has anybody any question?" I was in the back row. I raised my hand. He told, "What is your question?" I told, "Baba, you mentioned about divine light, divine sound, divine vibration. I am regularly practicing Kriya Yoga twice, daily morning and evening. But I am not feeling any, I am hearing a little buzzing sound in my ear, but no vibration, no light." It will come to me. So I went forward, sat near his feet. He sitting like this, sat near his feet. Then he placed one of his hand on my shoulder like this. Told, "Do you feel vibration?" I told, "No." He told, "No, not like that. You concentrate where my fingertip is touching your body." Then I concentrated. I could clearly feel some very subtle energy that is radiating from his hand, entering into my body. Dhak, 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 like that. "Do you feel?" "Yes, no, I feel." Then he got hold of my hand. There also I felt the same vibration, my fingertip, my nail. Wherever he put his hand, divine hand, there I perceived the sound, vibration. Distinctly clear. Something coming from his hand and entering into my body. He caught hold of my hair like this. "Do you feel?" I felt there. Divine vibration. Then what he did, he just covered my both the ears with his palms like this. Oh, what a terrible sound. Thousands of temple bells, church bells and gongs and conch shells. Lot of sound. Do you hear the sound? Yes, Baba. Very loud and clear. Then he covered my eyes like this. I saw a brilliant sun. So brilliant and dazzling, like that, a round sun. And at the same time, it was very soothing also. Do you see the light? Yes, Baba, I saw the light. Meditate every day. You will have wonderful realization. You have many dangers and difficulties. You meditate, and your difficulties will be over. He told like that.
I used to meditate with him. Actually, he was very keen on teaching meditation. During meditation, a thought occurred to me. Can I not achieve samadhi? Have you heard the name of Ramakrishna Paramahansa? He gave samadhi to Vivekananda at the first instance. Why my guru is not favoring me? It was dark. Guruji could read my mind and immediately told me, replied me. It was not samadhi, he told me. It was just a touch. And how much Vivekananda meditated. He told me. Samadhi requires a lot of meditation, hours of uninterrupted meditation. It was just a glimpse. And even you have not that amount of meditation. If a 40 power bulb, electric bulb, it is charged with 1000 power volt, then it will burst. So prepare yourself, meditate and meditate, prepare your field. Then suddenly I felt so heavy electric current was coming from my Sahasrara to Muladhara in a lightning speed, 3-4 times. I felt as if I am burning or my spine will crack. It was unbearable. Then it was stopped. By this Guruji wanted to teach me that Samadhi is not a small thing. You have to prepare your field. You cannot tolerate this amount of energy.
Last I met him in 1995 at Jagatpur Ashram. There I went there one day. He asked for some medicines. You get some medicines for me from Cuttack. I told okay. Next day, evening time, I went there, took the medicines. He was having his snacks at that time, some upma, something. Seeing me, he was happy. Then I told, I have brought your medicines. Okay, keep it there. Eat something. So he offered. Whatever he was taking from his plate, he was offering. I told, no, I had my tiffin. No, take something. He forced me. Okay, I cannot break his word. I didn't like to dissuade him, so I took little. Then he asked me, how much money these medicines, what is the cost of these medicines? I told, can a son take money from the father? You needed some medicines, I bought it. How do you talk about giving money to me? He was very happy at that time. Then he told you come next day. The next day was holy time. So early morning I came to Jagatpur Ashram. She was there, Pragyandavad was there, few others were there. She was sitting in the room. He came, sit before me. I sat. Can you see the light? I told, what light? I don't see any light. No, you must sit. Then you look at my head. He was wearing that turban. You concentrate. Then he asked to Pragyandava and others, can you all see? Yes, they are all able to see. Why can't you see? So he gave the technique, how to see it. Then both of us were meditating together in open eyes. Suddenly that experience came to me. Then he nodded, he was very happy, nodded his head. Yes, now I see, you can see. So that day I stayed for some 2-3 hours in ashram.
I was sitting in his meditation class. Gurudev looked at me. He told me, when you are doing meditation, why you are thinking of office work? He was a class 1 officer of government of Odisha. When I am sitting here and you are meditating, why you are thinking of this? If you have some problem, you finish first, solve the problem, thought over the problem, then you come to me. Otherwise there cannot be meditation. He was stunned.
When we always visit Khadar Ashram, we always want the touch of Baba. Always Baba will be telling, don't waste your time. Don't roam hither and thither. Rather, while wasting your time, sit silently. If you have time, sit silently for minutes. meditate. Close your eyes and meditate. And he will be always saying, when I am before you, don't close your eye. You look at me. And today I am realizing we are closing our eye and meditating upon Baba Gurudev. But when he was before us, at that time when we close our eye, he will be telling us, don't close your eye because I am before you. I am present. So you just look at me and meditate. Your Gurudev is standing before you. And I have seen when he conducts a meditation class, so he will be just going from front to end, and he will be touching the forehead of everybody, and he will be touching with his finger, and everybody was anxious whether Baba is touching me or not. When Baba touches somebody, everybody becomes happy. And once he touches your head, exactly you will feel as if electricity is flowing in your body. That feeling was there. So everybody was feeling Baba should touch us. Baba should touch me. And if he doesn't touch anybody, he really cries like a small child. Baba, you touch me, Baba. From the touch, he can know whether he has already developed or not. He assesses your capability, the depth in meditation, everything. And then he will tell you are fit for second kriya. You come to me and take initiation in second kriya. Baba will tell you whether you are fit for second kriya or third kriya or not. If you are not fit for second kriya, you will be practicing first kriya for years together, for 20 years, for 10 years, for 30 years. But nobody requests Baba, give me second kriya or third kriya. But Baba was there. He will assess the quality, he will assess the depth in meditation of a disciple. And always he tells, you come and take second kriya. So at that time we are very eager to go to Baba and always sit before him. There was a competition, who will sit before Baba.
So I saw Baba lying down in a bed, half lying down in a bed, and he was guiding the meditation. And that meditation I cannot forget for whole of my life. I could not feel that I am there, I am somewhere else. Baba during his guided meditation, Baba was taking people to which plane we cannot tell. So after meditation also, I could not stand up. And for 15 minutes I sat like this, me and my husband. For 2 to 3 months we were only meditating, and we could not have such experience till that time when Baba guided the meditation.
I think in the world up to today I have not seen such a nice. I visited with the grace of God and Guru so many great people. But such a great eye structure, just by looking Guruji, Baba will look at us. A flow of love will continuously come from Gurudev to us. It's my practical experience. While giving the sadhana, Baba used to give the 3 experiences: divine vibration, divine light and divine sound. Just Baba pointed only, not touched me at least. Observe in the fontanel, there is vibration. Yes, I had experience. Look at your feet, there is vibration. I had vibration. Even he doesn't touch me. I wondered, what greatness it is. How like I am to be with the great master.
At that time, the number of disciples was very few. It was not in great numbers. So even if 10-15 people went to his room, then he will say, close the door and start meditation. He will practice meditation with us, conduct the meditation. He will see what we are doing. When Gurudev will come, before that I will know that he is coming to Dhenkanal or coming to any other place. Then I will reach by that tomorrow morning. Then Gurudev will wonder, I have not written any letter to you. How could you know this? Then I said, it is because of your blessings. Then he said that if you practice meditation regularly, then you can have that intuition power. That you can know beforehand who is coming or what is happening. And I have experienced in my life that without any letter from the ashram or any intimation from him, I will reach the place where he will be there.
Once he is sitting in the hall
meditating going on. Baba came, they all closed their eyes. Baba entered the room and touched his fontanel. He feel that his soul is going in space, very and he feels so light, so divine, so soothing, so he lost his consciousness to this time. And after a minute, after a second, when Baba bring out his finger, he feel that he came back to his body. And he want to experience more this. He saw Baba. Baba is 10 feet away. He ran to Baba and keep his leg. Baba, please touch my fountain. Baba tell him, oh, you naughty boy, go and sit and meditate.
In 1995, I got the information that Gurudev is staying in Calcutta in Devi Baba's house. That time I was having one meeting in Calcutta. The company where I was working, they called me for a meeting. I accompanied my brother-in-law with me. He was working as an assistant director in MSME. He also accompanied me because he wanted to meet Gurudev. I had the meeting in the morning and he went to Devi Baba's house and approved the appointment to meet Gurudev in the evening. So after the meeting, he came and joined me and we went to Gurudev's place where he was staying, Devi Baba's house. And they asked us to sit for a while, and then we went to the upstairs where Gurudev was staying. Then Gurudev, we made our pranam and we sat there. Many other people, even some foreigners also came to meet him. Since we got the appointment, Gurudev cleared all the devotees and only both of us. Only we both stayed there, sat there, and Gurudev called me and asked when did I get the initiation and all. And then he kept my head on his chest. Nobody there except me and my brother-in-law in the room. And one devotee, he was attending Gurudev, and he kept my head very close to his chest, and about 5 to 10 minutes like that. Then all of a sudden he became ill. And at that time it was very cold in Calcutta. He asked the person to switch off the fan, and then he asked him to remove the socks from his toes, and he slept for a while. Then he sat down and took some antacids and also some water. He became very much ill for a while. Then he asked us to sit there. Then he discussed with us regarding my Ishta Devi, and he elaborately described about the Ishta Devi, and then he asked us to bow down our head. And during the bowing, I heard the very Divya Dhwani, which I have never heard in my life since now, till now.
I was visiting him in Raurkela Ashram A few hundred people were there in the ashram. I was given a separate room to stay in. I went and in the crowd, as everybody was coming and bowing at the feet of Baba, I bowed at his feet, came back to my room and mentally not very happy. I have traveled so much from Bombay to Calcutta, from Bombay to Rourkela, and just bowing at his feet and coming back to the room was not enough for me. So I was not satisfied, but I tried to kill my thoughts by sitting for meditation and just meditated in my room. But you don't meditate for too long, maybe an hour or two I must have meditated. Thereafter I came out and was just outside my room. I moved my head up and saw Baba was standing. Baba was standing there and was asking, "You come up." So I was too happy that he is granting me special moments with himself. So I walked upstairs. His room was locked. By the time I reached at the top, the door was open. He hushed me inside, closed the room, and called for Brahmananji. Brahmananji was staying there. Are you familiar with the word Brahmananji? He was another disciple. He used to look after India at one point of time. When Baba was still alive, Pragyananji was looking after US and Shraddhananji was looking after Europe. That was the setup at that point of time. And he asked me to sit down. I just sat down. He asked Brahmananji. He also sat down. Brahmananji also sat down. We were both sitting side by side. And he says, "Close your eyes." So we closed our eyes. And what I heard next was, "Open your eyes." Open my eyes. He looked at me. "Anil Baba, dhyan ho gaya?" I said, "Have you meditated?" "No." "You just asked me to close my eyes." I closed my eyes. He asked me to open my eyes. I've opened my eyes. How do I respond to the question, "Dhyan ho gaya?" So he looked at Brahmananji and said, "Brahmananji, dhyan ho gaya?" And he said, "Baba, आप कहते तो ध्यान हो गया, लेकिन आपने बोला आँख बंद करो." I translate in English the same thing that I said. He said it that you asked me to close the eyes. We both closed the eyes. You asked us to open the eyes. You opened the eyes. He says, "Look at your watch." He looked at his watch. How much time has gone by? He was awestruck. 20 minutes had gone. Neither Brahmananji knew where were those 20 minutes, nor I knew where were those 20 minutes. We just both thought we had closed our eyes, we have opened the eyes. That was meditating with him.
I got the news. Baba has come to the city of Cuttack and is staying in the residence of Dr. Pradhan. And in the evening, there will be meditation and there will be discourse. I had not taken Kriya by that time. But I said, "Let me go. Kriya will start." After 5-10 minutes of introduction, Baba started Kriya. I had no knowledge what to do. I was looking to this side and looking to that side. But I could not follow Kriya. So I sat in my lotus posture. Sometimes looking at him, sometimes looking at others. But I was enjoying. After some minutes, I found some stillness is there in my body. I'm not looking to this side or that side. I'm opening my eyes in between, no doubt, but there is something there is something. I'm feeling some calmness, some peacefulness. And I was enjoying his voice, the voice of guidance. And I can't forget the rhyme with which he was speaking. Each word appeared to be a word coming down from the heaven, a word coming down from Himalayas, full of love, full of coolness, full of guidance, full of blessings. I kept on listening to him, enjoying word after the word, trying to imbibe as to how he's guiding, that's all, but not following the guidance, because I'm not trained, I'm not tuned to the art of Kriya, the technique of Kriya, but the inherent beauty behind the Kriya that I could grasp on that day, to make mind little calm, to make body little still and enjoy. And enjoying a beautiful master guiding beautiful disciples in Kriya.
He said that Babaji, one day he took meditation, deep meditation in his room in Kadarashram. Then wanted to see Babaji Maharaj because he has read from Madhurya Gujari. Yogananda Paramahansa had met him, Yukteswarji had met him, Syamachandra Lahiri had met him, all these. Then he desired. And it is said that once a yogi attends Nirvikalpa Samadhi, then Babaji Maharaj appeared before him. Then he meditated very deeply. Then he said that some flash of light came. Then he opened the eyes and asked, Who are you? Then the light vanished. Then he said, I cried. That what mistake I committed. Why I should open my eyes and utter, who is you? Then I again started meditating. Then after that, a person came, touched my head. I bowed down before him. Then she said, then I saw him, Babaji Maharaj. Then he advised me, instructed me many things on sadhana. Then he said, you have attained the highest stage, you go on, you now go outside, preach Kriya Yoga in the Western countries. Many things he advised.
Babaji told, now I am going, don't try to follow me. Babaji went away from the room. But disregarding his advice, Baba wanted to follow him. But he found that he is not able to get up. It took quite some time for him to get up. When he got up and went out, he found nobody there. He has vanished. Babaji gave him darshan twice in the Kodar ashram itself. But he was not satisfied. Baba was not satisfied. Baba wanted to see him more closely for a longer period of time. So he travelled all the way to Ranikhet, to that cave of Babaji, where Lahiri Mahasaya was initiated. Took lot of pain and reached that cave. But when he tried to enter into that cave, he heard a voice. It was the voice of Babaji. He could not see anybody, only a voice. The voice told, don't try to see me now. I have already given you darshan twice in Kodar ashram. Now it is no use entering into the cave, you will not be able to see me. So go back to your place, do sadhana. You have to do a lot of work in the whole world to preach Kriya Yoga. My blessings are with you. Go away happily. So he came back.
Our Swami Hariharananda was very soft, was very laughing, never used to utter a harsh word to anybody. None. Whether you meditate or don't meditate, even if you don't progress an inch in 3 years, he never used to shout at anybody, disciples, never. But Yukteswarji, he said, because Yukteswarji was very far, he will make you sit. Now if he sees from your aura that you are not meditating properly, he would take a glass of water, throw it immediately in his face.
Sanyal Mahasaya was living in Puri. His ashram is quite close to Kodar ashram. It is called Guru Dham. He was living there with his wife. He was a householder. So our Gurudev used to go there, do him service and learn from him. He had learnt first Kriya from Swami Yukteswar, second Kriya from Paramahansa Yogananda, third Kriya from Swami Satyananda, fourth Kriya, fifth Kriya and sixth Kriya he learned from Sanyal Mahasaya. So he was quite close to Sanyal Mahasaya. Now Sanyal Mahasaya had a desire to become a monk, to become a sannyasi. He tried several times. The last time he tried, he went, I think, to Banaras. There he entered a ashram and requested for sannyas. So on a particular day, quite a good number of persons were taking sannyas. Sanyal Mahasaya was there. His head was clean shaved, about to be on the verge of getting sannyas. In the Puri, that Guru Dham, where the wife of Sanyal Mahasaya was there, she was worried where he has vanished for so many days. She contacted Gurudev. At that time, Gurudev was known as Rabinarayan Brahmachari. Gurudev told him, I know where he has gone, you please come with me. So both of them, they travelled. On the nick of the moment, they reached the ashram when he was about to be ordained into the monkhood. Then when Sanyal Mahasaya saw him, he told, you also betrayed me. Then that Guru who was giving him sannyas, he told, no, you have a wife and I will not give him sannyas. He came away.